The decision by the country's aviation authorities to ground an Aeroflot flight minutes before taking off looks to have the potential to escalate into a fully fledged diplomatic row between the Russian Federation and Sri Lanka. An enjoining order issued by the Commercial High Court on Wednesday led to Moscow-bound Aeroflot A330 flight being prevented from taking off yesterday. The case was filed by Celestial Aviation Trading Limited, an Irish affiliate of the world's largest aircraft leasing company, General Electric Commercial Aviation Services. Subject to the order, the Airbus A330, which was scheduled to fly 191 Russian tourists back home yesterday, has been detained at the Bandaranaike International Airport. The tourists were offloaded and given accommodation. Not a very good last impression of Sri Lanka, that is already facing huge challenges in relation to its barely recovered tourist industry. Right now, lawyers for Aeroflot have requested the Colombo Commercial High Court to revoke the enjoining order, but until the 8th of this month, when the case is next taken up again, the aircraft remains grounded. Meanwhile, Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka issuing a communique yesterday says that it had obtained a clarification on the effect of the enjoining order and that the High Court judge had informed that there was no enjoining order and any type of interim injunction issued against the Airport and Aviation Services. Therefore, there was no effective enjoining order issued on the state. The statement said that the judge had also noted during the hearing that the dispute between Aeroflot and Celestial Aviation Trading was purely of a commercial nature, which should be dealt with between the two parties, and that no involvement of the state was emphasized. The response from the Russian Federation, however, has been understandably quick. Today, Sri Lanka's ambassador to Moscow, Janitabe Wickremesinghe, was summoned to the Russian Foreign Ministry to face what the Russian diplomatic agency says was an expression of resolute protest over the detention. Further, a statement by Federal Air Transport Agency Alexander Neradko called the court order a groundless decision and urged the Sri Lankan government to settle the problems as soon as possible to avoid a negative impact on traditionally friendly bilateral relations. Meanwhile, subsequently, the Russian carrier Aeroflot announced today that it would suspend flights to Sri Lanka, a possible loss of business from the island's fifth largest tourism market. In a statement reported by TASS, the carrier stated that it would be suspending commercial flights to Colombo for the immediate period due to an unreliable situation in terms of the airline's unobstructed flights to Sri Lanka. It added that the sales of tickets to Colombo have also been temporarily shut down. Further, the statement revealed that repatriation flights would be sent back to Colombo to bring their citizens back home today and tomorrow. The same would be done for Russian passengers with departures on later dates, as well as it said. It was only on the 8th of April that Aeroflot resumed thrice weekly flights to Sri Lanka following international restrictions stemming from the Ukraine conflict, citing a minimal risk of detention of Russian aircraft. The Russian government had received assurances by Sri Lanka that no aircraft would be detained. Detention of Russian aircraft is a real risk for the carrier as part of Western sanctions that have been obligated aircraft leasing companies to terminate their contracts and demand that aircraft leased by Russia be returned. The Russian government, however, argues that returning the aircraft would violate existing lease contracts. Russia has since then registered the aircraft domestically to prevent such detentions. The detained aircraft, Flight Su-289, was one of the planes that had been registered in Russia. Yesterday in court, Additional Solicitor General Sumit Dharmavardhana, who appeared on behalf of the Katunaike Airport and the air traffic controller, argued that the court does not have the authority to rule on international and bilateral agreements relating to its freedom of aircraft movements. He explained that it was the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority who has the legal power to ensure that necessary facilities are provided for the aircraft to take off. However, as the controversy rages right now, it's anyone's guess what level of damage the issue causes, not only to bilateral relations, but from an economic sense as well.